I'm talking about from the like face-off that they were doing to the game. I'm not gonna lie. I had a moment where for some reason to me Michael Beasley was Delonte West. And I'm like, yo.
There's similarities there.
I'm like, yo, Delonte done cleaned up. He out here balling.
Oh, he's looking good.
Perfect.
What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, and I'm in the building with my dog, my guy, Spec. What's good, bro?
What's good, Play? Early Saturday morning.
Grinding out here working, man. Shout out to everybody out there listening to us out there on the podcast. Shout out to everybody out there rocking with us on the YouTube, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that the notification so you can know every time we drop. And make sure you like what you know what I mean? And you know we love the comments the most out of everything, Spec. So
let's hear what y'all thinking, people.
And you might end up on a future episode, like, you know, our people's right here, man. I was just, before we started the episode, I was showing Spec a video of just some kids wilding out in Brooklyn. And
badass kids.
They was acting a damn fool, you know what I'm saying? And like the people just hopped in the comments to see what they were saying. Shout out to Ambro. He put pointless. Bobby 6123 said all good kids that would never hurt anyone. Robiny.
That's in Brooklyn. I don't know that they.
Oh yeah, the videos in Brooklyn. Yeah, these kids is wild.
Y'all may not know Brooklyn.
Robiny 4457 said, where their fathers at? Oh, they're there too, but they don't know each other. Laughing emojis. Chamorro Way 670 said, these kids think it's funny damage in a car, man. So, you know what I mean? Make sure you hop in the comments and let us know what you're thinking on any future videos that we drop, because, you know, you might see yourself on a future episode. A shout out to everybody out there that hopped in the comments, man. Spec, but you know what we usually do around this time, man? We got to let the people know it's time for Plickers Spotlight Story. It might be a big story, might be a little story, but something that we want to shine a light on, let the people know out here, man.
Let's get into it.
It's been all about your man Trump. All about your guy Donald Trump, man, and these ICE raids going into places like schools, churches, weddings, and Home Depots, anywhere, Walmarts, like, and they like, yo, it's time to go. And it was big in LA. I was seeing a lot of videos coming out of LA because people were actually taking a stand, and they were it was all over the country, but I was seeing a lot coming out of LA, and that's where I seen a lot of people having the biggest, I think, opposition to it in terms of protest. We seen that caused Trump to then deploy the National Guard in like a unprecedented move, right? Something that the president doesn't usually do. You got to have
the Marines.
Oh, and the Marines. Also,
the governor calls in the National Guard.
Yeah.
Typically, you know, because that's state, but you know,
but Newsom didn't though. Newsom wasn't. He said we had it control.
Right. But Trump was trying to call in the Marines, which I mean, we don't deploy, you know, that type of force or like.
And from what I heard, the National Guard ain't doing nothing. They chilling. I heard a lot of them just like in buildings, sleeping.
Yeah, there's no commotion like that.
It seemed like an extra move, but it's militarizing everything. Obviously, this was on the eve of a military parade that was a whole lot of pomp and circumstance, for lack of a better, you know what I mean, term.
Some dictator shit.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. This is what you see from authoritarian rulers. This is just a show of force. Mm-hmm. Probably tore up the streets of D.C. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably did all types of damage. A lot of people didn't show up. If you ask Trump, he'll say different. Maybe all them people
crowds.
Yeah. But maybe all them people was at the No Kings protest. I don't know if you was driving around in Albany last week, but I saw one going down. And they were going around all over the country. People saying, we don't want a king. We don't want somebody to just make a decree and change laws. We want the government that we fought for and that we're used to having. What are your thoughts about those type of? Because to me, it's like, what's the call to action? Like, we're just letting Trump know we don't like him. You know what I mean? Because
you know, I mean, it's like with anything. You know, if enough people are upset, they should protest peacefully. And so, with that said, I mean, he's obviously been doing a lot this year so far. You know, a lot of things he said that he would do. You know, he's not necessarily taking the traditional approach. You know, it's more strong arm and everything, and you know, bypassing Congress to do a lot of things, executive orders, so on and so forth. So, you know, people are letting them know, hey, we don't like this. And, you know, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. What will it change anything? Only time is going to tell. Who knows?
what do you think about like the politicians? I've seen about 2 videos of politicians. I think one was Alex Padilla. The other was a New York City candidate for mayor, Brad Lander. Hope I'm getting your name right. Both getting arrested by ICE agents in like I think Brad was in immigration court. Right. Alex Padilla was simply trying to ask Noam, wasn't it Christy Noam, a question. He had an aggressive stance.
That's why I don't know if we would call it simple. Like,
I gotta see the previous 30 seconds of that video because I feel like he was coming with like a little like aggression.
He about to run up on there and knock her out or something. Like, so I mean,
I forgot who the dude was. There's a black guy. He's an author. I forgot his name if I remember it. But he had a video that went viral recently. It was about something that happened at an event where a woman asked a question. She suffered from mental illness and was asking him a question about something he knew nothing about. And then she started coming closer to him, like in a threatening way. He's like, "I'm going to ask you to back up right now." And I think she like pepper sprayed him or something like that. Yeah, you have to like when people start approaching like that when it's already a tense environment.
I'm not mad at whatever happens at that point, like because I'm a paranoid individual. You start getting close, shit may go down.
But I guess my question to you is: do you think these politicians are just publicity stunting? You know what I mean? Is it just...
Yes. I mean, they have to. I mean, because, at this stage, you have to know, the ICE agents, they feel emboldened at this point. So you step out of line, you're going to get arrested. So I feel like they knew what they were doing. And they knew, okay, I'm probably not going to go to jail. They just detained me for a few minutes and, it's going to make them... Like,
they all say, like, they wonder, like, where are they taking me to? Yeah. And they started
going to El Salvador.
Yo, I did see a headline today that they're looking more into like privately owned prisons and stuff like that to hold people. But it's unprecedented times that we've seen. Somebody, I'm not gonna take credit for this. I heard it on a podcast. Said this, but they were like, think about where we were at in 2020: protests, sickness, chaos, just people stoking the flames on social media. It's like we're back there again in 6 months of the Trump presidency. Like right back where we left off again. And I don't. And now actually we got the war, of Israel and Iran. That conflict going on over there. Still Israel versus Hamas. Ukraine versus Russia still going down.
And now Israel and Iran.
Yeah, no, Israel. I think I said that, but I might have forgot to say my But that what's up with that? We was trying to do negotiations. Israel said, "Nah, we not doing that. We take it over." And it's kind of like, we like, I don't know if we in or we out.
It's like, yo, what y'all trying to do?
And we like, yo, we ain't telling you what to do in the club, bro. But now, so, we also can't leave them out there because people have this, the conspiracy theory is Israel has something over Trump. And I'm like, money, yeah, probably like, or people claim all types of stuff, like conspiracy, Epstein tapes and the Russian conspiracies, who knows what they're holding over Trump. But it does seem like Israel's like, no, we're going to do what we want and keep up.
Netanyahu knows. I feel like even if Biden was in office, this shit would have happened. So I'm not even going to put this on Trump. Like, Israel's been wanting to do this for a very, very, very long time. And they reached a point where all right, we're going to do this and there's not going to be any turning back. And Trump wasn't going to stop it. Biden wouldn't have stopped it. So, it is what it is. I don't know that we should be getting involved because it can just escalate things, but we'll see.
And we got travel bans now, too. I forgot to mention that. Trump put travel bans on numerous countries, some for just random reasons. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's 2020 again. It feels like we right back there again. And I don't know why this works for Trump or even why he wants to. I know for the media, Trump always gives us stuff to talk about, but it's getting to like a weird, like nervous kind of area, especially on the brink of World War, whatever. Right. What it do, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy. Just interrupting real quick, man. I really appreciate you watching this episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. But if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. You got to run them numbers up so I can keep running it up. Also, if you're listening to the audio version on the podcast, make sure you leave a review. Let them know how much you love the podcast and, subscribe to the thing. And if you really, really want to support the team, go to www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a sticker. You can even get yourself a mug, man. The possibilities are endless and the prices are low. Holla at us, baby. Let's get it. Man, but like I said, it's been a minute since we chopped it up, and when we haven't chopped it up, we know there's mad news that passes by, and we got a segment here on Perfect Talk Podcast called Since We Spoke. Spec. We just talking about the man Trump, but we got to talk about what happened between him and Elon Musk. That was a breakup that I just can't. I don't think this podcast could just let go and not talk about that. Let me see where my Elon comments here. But Elon was leaving Doge. You know, everybody said the time was coming to an end. He was moving under the guise of like, I got to get back to Twitter, SpaceX. I got, you know, the stocks is hurting a little something. I got to get back on top. Come to find out, he really was mad about that big bill. Beautiful bill. You know what I mean? He said this was a waste of money. It kind of felt like a waste of his time at Doge because there was a lot more spending going on there. Well, a few things on there he didn't like. And also, I think Trump removed tax credit for EVs. I don't.
That really pissed him off.
Yeah, I don't fully understand how that works, but I think that from what I heard, it was like that was a money making source for him because I guess he was able to sell his EV credits to other car manufacturers who didn't make as many electric vehicles. Okay. And that was a way for his companies to make profit. So that was another sticking point for Elon. But like a upset girlfriend, Elon went straight to the X. And you know what I'm saying? Started talking about he got the receipts. He talking about this. He talking about that. Let's see the first one. He said one of the wild ones. He goes, whatever. Keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair. But ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there's never been legislation both big and beautiful. Everybody knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. You know, that was one of his lighter ones. You know what I mean? Then he's like, Trump owes him. Trump should be happy. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. And then decided to drop the big messy one where he's talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
he was spiraling at this point.
Well, this is because Trump hadn't started responding. But Trump was really responding a lot in the in the actual media, not necessarily tweeting back at him, not necessarily taking it to True Social. And Elon goes, time to drop the really big bomb. At Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is a real reason they have not made it public. Have a nice day, DGT. Or DJT, and then goes, mark this post for the future, the truth will come out. Only to a couple days later, be back on his apology shit and be like, you know, maybe I was a little out of line. Maybe
I wonder what was said to him.
That's what what do you think? What do you think? Who got in his ear? Who came up and whispered? Because then the White House started, I don't know if the White House, but we started hearing rumors about the black eye that he had came from
I never believe it came from playing with his son.
But then Trump is like, he could have covered that up with makeup, like he wanted the attention. It really showed how immature, I guess, powerful people could be when they get told no or when they don't say.
They're not used to getting told no.
What do you think happened between them two? Think like disloyalty somewhere, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, obviously Elon started out with Trump, you know, everything started out all good. Yeah. You know, he came in with the Doge team, started cutting up shit. A lot of people in Trump's administration, you know, as well as America, we didn't appreciate that, him just cutting everything like, you know, important shit. So I feel like at some point, enough people got in Trump's ear and Trump is made like, Leon, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like it all started from that point and it just slowly deteriorated once he started taking power away from Elon. Because in the beginning, Elon had all the power. Yeah. And as he just got out of line with it, you know, Trump had to rein that in. And I think at that point, that's when the relationship started to deteriorate.
I heard rumors, I don't know how true it is, that Marco Rubio was like big opposition to Elon. They got like, because I'm assuming he wanted to cut something that Marco Rubio was in charge of, and like he was doing all the other members of his cabinet. And yeah, I don't know if that was a beef. Like I said, he had the thing with Scott Besson. So again, he probably made too many enemies. He was trying to get his homeboy to be the head of NASA. Trump didn't go for that. So yeah, something happened there, and they did not end it amicably. Do you think they'll ever be back on good terms again? Because they are like contracts that obviously Elon.
Yeah, I mean, I think from business wise, somewhat, but I don't expect Elon to be by Trump's side.
Not like it was before. Son interrupted him in the Oval Office and all that. Spec, man, since we spoke, did you see the one-on-one between Lance Stephenson and Michael Beasley?
I seen some of it.
The highlights from it, man. That was fun. I could not let that pass by without us saying it. Now, I'm going to full disclosure, right? I'm talking about from the little press tour, like face off that they were doing to the game. I'm not gonna lie, I had a stoner moment where for some reason to me Michael Beasley was Delonte West. And I'm like, yo,
there's similarities there.
I'm like, yo, Delonte done cleaned up. He out here balling.
Oh, he's looking good.
I don't until like it was like maybe a day or two afterwards, and then I realized that was Michael. But like this was hilarious. The face off. I like this one because they put the music behind it.
But I'm gonna do it to you real nice and slow. Understand? I'm gonna do it to you sexy. So I'm gonna make them people love you tonight.
I'm watching this like, what the hell is going on?
For real.
Lance ain't gotta react.
I'm ready. I'm gonna have you shake
face
that
off
ass,
is
man.
this?
I'm gonna make you dance, Lance.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
I'm gonna make you dance, Lance. We gonna get straight to it, nigga. I'm gonna bring my dancing shoes and I'm gonna tap all over that court. You understand? You better. I ain't gonna get shaking ass.
No. Nobody in the world ever did that.
Hello, everybody. Nobody at your service.
What kind of prison basketball face off? I wouldn't know how to react to it. I thought you were gonna talk shit, bro.
That's why Lance is probably so timid. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, what the fuck is this?
Thought he was just gonna say a couple words.
It's probably not just them in the room, but to Michael Beasley.
It making me feel uncomfortable.
Man, so then the game went down, man, and Michael Beasley didn't disappoint. Lance was holding his own.
Man, we had Lance Stephenson play Michael Beasley one-on-one for 100 bands. Hey, shout out Friga in Next Chapter, man. They put on a dope-ass event. It cost me $30, but it was damn near worth it. Shit was physical, too.
One-on-one, I mean, they did a lot of hype and a lot, you know.
Come here. That boy Lance took off his jersey like that shit was holding him back. Said, I bet I'm ready now. Let me get that rock. That boy caught some momentum, hit him with the right to left, unside step. I ain't gonna lie, Lance shoot like a football player. These two motherfuckers was going head to head. Literally, you see their heads touching. This that real park 1v1 right here. I don't know who the fuck bro was that stepped to Lance, but he wasn't going for none of that shit. Told buddy boy, if you don't sit your goofy ass down somewhere, real BK shit. You see gang done ran up on him now. Shit got diffused though. Let's get back to these buckets. Little jabber, I'm by you. No easy buckets though. Lance fouled the fuck out this man. Fuck them 100 bands, that pride on the line. What you got for me, Lance? Nutmeg, oh my god. Into the reverse lay me. That boy must be hanging out with Bobby Schmurder the way he hit this little move right here. Mike Beasley out of shape, smoke hella weed, and still Lance can't do not shit with him. Left hand drop dribble into the Baron Davis step back. No bullshit, this man might be the Thanos of 1v1. They don't call that man Cool Bees for no reason. Y'all thought the Bees was for Beasley. The Bees is actually for Bucket. That boy Lance think he's slick. And one. We all know that old head at the park that played with no shirt on so nobody can grab him. I'm about to start calling that shit the step back of death. Halfway through they started doing shit like this. Half basketball, half football. Lance out there traveling, Bees out there fouling shit ugly, but and one. Game to 30 and Bees got points. Bro said I got a backwood with my name on it. Time to go home. Kyrie Irving said he would never play Michael Beasley one-on-one and we just seen why. Dope ass event. I hope we get to see more players doing this shit right here. That boy Mike a stone cold killer until he sees his children. And that's what it's all about. Shout out Next Chapter. Shout out Beasley. Shout out Lance.
Yeah, that video had me rolling, bro. Yeah. Were there any other big names that played one-on-one yet? Or this is like one of the bigger
That's the only one I know.
Okay. I'm sure there's people who do it for money and that's like...
I guess.
But not any big names like that. But I see a future in it.
There can be. Yeah, hell yeah.
Because Lance also plays Big Three. So I mean, a lot of those dudes that are in the Big Three, they could come over, man. And Lance caught that L. But he also caught another one when he stepped up against your man Dwight Howard during the Big Three game. Yo, my man here holding his kid.
Yeah.
Holding his kid just for footage, bro. Dwight Howard enjoying this and shit? Like they too old for this shit, bro. Big Three love it though. My man with his kid is killing me. He the real MVP, bro. And then get surprised when he gets his phone almost get knocked out his hand. Nah, See, because these dudes probably been had wanted to fight each other, and now they get the opportunity, and you know what I mean, in the big three. But yeah, nah, it's y'all too old for that. Y'all too old for whatever Michael Beasley was talking about, and you too old to be fighting. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, go for 100,000. They didn't even fight.
Right, true.
For y'all to be fighting here in the big three is crazy. But y'all ain't being role models. But it was entertaining. Give us something to see, man. Spec. Since we spoke Father's Day, Pat, you have a good Father's Day, bro?
Yeah, what did I?
Relaxed?
Yeah, it was just real relaxed. Went out for dinner.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
See my mind. Is it hard? It's not hard to get a seat on Father's Day somewhere, is it?
Well, we went out Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, the day before Father's Day.
Oh, so you got the Saturday crowd also, yeah.
No, it wasn't bad.
I know Mother's Day is hard to get a seat places here, so. But 50 Cent, you know, he doesn't have the best relationship with his oldest son, Marquise, I believe his name is. And they've had their beefs back and forth. But Marquise decided he wanted to be funny, you know, Father's Day, and he made a post about his dad, right? The first one was him smoking a hookah. He looked just like him, by the way. And then he had, I believe this is it. He made a AI picture of a bet prop, a player prop betting slip, Father's Day Sportsbook. Betting that 50 Cent and his second son will appear together in the photo. So basically saying it's Father's Day, you know he about to post Sire, I believe is the younger son's name. Had odds on there. Basically saying that he don't really think, because I believe I want to read his caption. He said, "Oh, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to the real ones. I'm watching my bed and it ain't looking too good. Facepalm emoji. I got the over. We all know this is the day for photo ops. The day ain't over yet. Finish strong. Get on your job. Muscle emoji, laughing emoji." So, you know, 50 got word on it, and he's like, all right, I'm going to have some fun on Father's Day then. I guess that's what we're doing. And, which is sad that, you know what I mean, we y'all beefing like this, but, you know what I mean, so he going to make some AI pictures of his own.
That was a hurt kid tweet.
And then, and we know that. That's not new to us that, you know what I mean, they don't have the best of thing. But the first one he did was at his baby mom. Now, the rumor is, you know, this is that she's a Jane Doe in a specific high profile case nowadays. The worst Jane Doe I ever seen, because it feels like everybody's just telling who this lady is. So he posts this him with a drill, look at AI picture, and goes, "I'll have full custody soon, little bitch. You'll be back on OnlyFans in no time, little bitch. But how's your day going, little bitch?" He had to change that.
Wait, who is he talking to?
I believe that they thought he was talking to the baby moms. But somebody must have gotten his ear about a lot of, because all these posts that I'm about to show you, he changed the captions on them. So this one now says, "Happy Father's Day, guys. What did you get?" He had this one. So right now it says, "I can improve at being a better enemy. You guys have been consistent. I just don't have passion for it, but I'll work on it." Originally, when he had posted it on Father's Day, he wrote, "You little punk. Your mama got you and your sister scamming. Them people came to ask some questions about it. I said I don't fuck with them. I'm a law-abiding citizen." So that one definitely directed at the son. And then there was another one, I believe. Right here it says, "I'm not gonna lie. I did not know I was this far ahead of people and not giving a fuck. But originally it said, I bet they gonna blame me when they get picked up for scamming PPP loans, and then they gonna say it was my fault they were broke," with the eye emoji. So he kept the eye emoji. It's just funny. But yeah, it's not the best to see a father and son not getting along, especially on Father's Day. 50's relationship with his baby moms, that's something else, you know what I mean? And why they I don't even know how good they actually ever got along, you know what I mean? To be honest with you. But the thing with the son,
to have the son, that was more of a business deal. Like I don't know that they had really ever had a relationship.
That's what I understood it to be as well. Yeah. So I don't think that hurts 50 Cent, and I don't think he hurts her.
No,
when he says stuff about her either, because she like you just said, it was the same for both of them. Now obviously losing custody or things like that is not anything to joke about. And then why would you? I think if you're trying to in a custody battle, why would you go to social media and leave posts? So which is probably the reason why those posts don't have the same captions anymore. And then he can't talk to his older son and then still gonna cuss his younger son when people have a whole social media thread of him talking about. But I think the thing that stuck out to me was I was hearing about Diddy's sons, and they were said very loving messages to their dad who's going through what he's going through. But it's like that's the other side of it. Like 50 Cent could make fun of Diddy with the oil and the whatever their beef is for years and not liking each other, but it's always going to be a thing where it's like, well, your family or your sons, you get along with your sons, as opposed to your son don't want nothing to do with you, or your son takes a day like this and disses you. You know what I mean? Where I think like none of us have it all together. We all got skeletons. We all got stuff we got hide. Not even stuff we got hide, but stuff we're not proud of, or stuff we don't want to be made fun of or brought to the light. And it's a day like that where you just kind of see 50 Cent on the other side of it. You know what I mean?
For me, I'm used to it at this point. I just wish he never even responded to the son's tweet. You know, y'all not gonna have a relationship. All right, cool.
Yeah,
don't talk. Like, you know,
just gave him what he wanted, basically.
Right? Yeah, I mean, he did it on purpose. Like that was like a outcry of like, you know, I want this attention.
Yeah,
and so he knew his father was gonna respond.
Yeah, shit. So, he took the bait.
I feel like it would have probably fucked him up more if just no response at all.
I think sometimes a lot of people need to know that's the best. I think that's really the best response, man. Like, it hurts people when, especially if somebody puts so much time and attention into wanting to hurt you. You made a whole post. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You made sure the shit looked good. You had the perfect caption to put a camera on yourself. You know, light was perfect, and it's to not giving no attention. I think that really gets people the most. Yeah. Respect. It's time to get to another segment here, Perfect Talk Podcast, and it's called Have You Heard? I hear things in the news, popular culture, and I bring it here to Perfect Talk Podcast to see if y'all heard. Like, I know you heard this, man. My guy Pusha T got beef with Travis Scott. that came out of left field to me. It really did, and I was guilty of jumping to conclusions because I never really cared for Pusha Drake, the beef Pusha Drake, because it was always like, to me, I was like, well, your beef was with Wayne. And I get it, Drake hopped out and then he took on the beef, and now you had to respond to him. But I was like, you kind of distance someone you don't care about if your beef was really with the boss or whatever you think Wayne may be. So I thought that was kind of weird. It was also kind of like a way to get attention. So when it's like Clipse haven't been out in a while, they had a whole thing where they left Def Jam because a Kendrick verse was told it couldn't be on the album. Now Def Jam's on the Universal. UMG's being sued by Drake. I'm assuming the Kendrick verse had something directed at Drake, and the Clipse were like, no, we're not taking nobody's verses off. We're not going to censor him. I'm going to get back to that in a second, because that's a whole nother topic in itself. But then we hear, they're with Rock Nation now, and new projects coming out. First single was called Ace Trumpets. The second single is called So Be It, and we find out that he has some bars for Travis Scott on there. My first reaction was like, you doing this again? Like, you beefing, like just you using it as a platform. You going after the next generation, the younger generation, the weirdo generation, so to speak. It felt like something like another play out of the Pusha T playbook until like I saw the interview on it and heard his reasoning. So I'll play the clip where Pusha T was talking to the New York Times podcast, and he was really just explaining why he dissed Travis.
He's shameless. It all came from actually being in Paris. So be it. So be it. So be it. So came through carrying the Utopia briefcase.
Right. Yep.
Doing his whole spiel. Mm-hmm. He comes. He interrupts the session. The next day, the meltdown verse or whatever comes on.
I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss.
Drake on Travis Scott talking about melting Pharrell's jewelry.
And all of that. That was a corny. Like, you shouldn't have been here anyway. Him specifically, too. I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into his whole makeup. I took it there.
Her Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat.
And then to come back in our fold.
To make a point of...
Yeah, to invade the fold and then... do all that he did. It was like, man, that was corny. He's shameless. He does it. You've seen him do it to everybody. I've definitely had to put my hand on your shoulder before. You died in front of me. You cried in front of me.
Cried in front of me. You died in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
I had to help you. people take that type of shit for granted. I don't take that for granted. So be it.
Yeah, I still didn't. So Travis purchased jewelry from Drake?
No. So Travis got on his last album, Utopia, I'm assuming he had beats by Pharrell or whatever, or he's playing Pharrell the album. He goes there and plays the album for Pharrell. And the Clipse is there, they're recording their album, interrupts the session, I guess, from what Pusha says. Sounds like they didn't really want him there anyway. Plays the album, plays the song Meltdown, but leaves Drake's verse off of it. Now Drake's verse has a bar about I melt down your boss's jewelry. So it's kind of like talking to Pusha about Pharrell and saying that he bought, because basically Pharrell auctioned the jewelry off. This is why this was the corniest thing to me, but you know that Drake bought, so he bought Pharrell's jewelry.
Yeah, I know Drake references it, but I didn't know. Okay, so
I think he shows it in the one about Kendrick, the not Pusha, the one that came after that, Family Matters.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing it, yeah. So basically, from what I understand, Pharrell auctioned it off. So it's not like Pharrell got robbed for his chains. It was Drake just had a lot of money to pay for it and bought it. And he's the same way he bought Tupac's ring, I think, through an auction. He was buying rapper jewelry. So to me, I was like, to say that you bought it and then melted it down is, I don't know, like Pharrell's like, I don't care about that. Like that was like the old shit. That's why that doesn't hurt me when you say that. Now back to the Travis Scott of it all. You came around the Clipse, you played him the beat. You knew there was a verse on there at Pharrell, at Pusha, and left it off purposely. Can't say you did it ignorantly because he said like the next day they heard the Drake verse on it. Where Drake says, I melt down the change that I bought for your boss. Give a fuck about all that heritage shit. Since you're not around, the members that hung up the Louis, they're not even wearing that shit. Obviously, you know, Pharrell works for Louis Vuitton. He's like the creative director, I think, or the head of it. So it was like you sneak dissed us, but then you try to be around us. That was corny. And then I like what Pusha T does is there was a lot of examples of this, like you know the whole Kardashian connection that they have. He was cool with Kanye. Mm-hmm. But Drake sneak disses Kanye on Sicko Mode, where he goes checks over stripes. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Then there's the Rolling Loud footage where Travis Scott's performing with Metro Boomin and Future, and he's like, play him that shit from this that you played me the other day. Play him that. But nobody knows what he's talking about at the time. And then Metro throws the beat on, but obviously you don't hear the Kendrick verse. Right. But like you knew that was about your man. And you was there hyping it up, and then you know what I mean. Now you're doing the same thing here again. So then, I think a lot of people just was like, yeah, that is something that you do. So I kind of changed how I felt about it. I was like, I guess Pusha's not. Now, if we look at the charts, most streamed artists, there's gonna be Kendrick, Drake, Kendrick. You know, number 1 and 2. Travis Scott's the third. You getting at the third biggest streaming rapper. So it's like, it's convenient that the dude that you got beef with.
It's convenient, but also it is corny that he did that.
That Travis did that. Yeah. So, but it's just like, it's like a win-win. Yeah. I get to take down the top 3 if you want to put them in there, but it's streaming, so I don't know if you want to call it that. Right. But it's just like, dude sells records. So it's like, that's a big look for me. So I'm a little skeptical of it. Also, that was a Drake line. Right? So now we're going to go back to that. You didn't want to take off the Kendrick verse on your album because obviously you got shared beef with Drake. But so my whole thing is like, I think where another place where Travis messed up is like, you can't diss someone I'm cool with on my song. I get it that y'all got beef. You can't diss somebody that I'm going to have to give a pound to, I'm going to be in a room to. And that's where I think the new generation don't, or they don't give a fuck. Right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just corny like that, but it's like, if I gotta be in a room with this person, I gotta be around them, probably save that for a freestyle you gotta do, or if I'm on, maybe when I'm on your song, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when Jadakiss and I want to say it was on a Jadakiss album, it was Jadakiss and DMX, and then they came out with the verse diss and Beanie Siegel, but it kind of seemed like I think it's called Here We Go Again. Okay. And then but like X's verse,
no, isn't it used to be my dog, you was in my lap.
That was the original one. But then remember, like later when he like full on comes on about Here We Go Again. Yeah. He got the third verse that Jadakiss spits is about Beanie. Gotcha. Yeah. But it kind of, even if you listen to DMX's verse, kind of sound like he getting that J. If you really listen to it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think to DMX, he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't like these niggas either. You know what I mean? But have that conversation.
Right.
Like, don't hop on my song or have me on a song and you getting at somebody. So now I got beef with them now. They think we made a diss record about
But to be honest, I feel like we've seen so many examples of that just in hip hop in general where people do that.
I don't think back in the day they did it as much.
Well, no. Not as much, for sure.
That's definitely post 9/11, post 50 Cent kind of like era. We're like, to the point where, you know, like a lot of these rappers, they're like 50 now. They're doing podcasts. Well, I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that they're not talking about their careers. And Jadakiss is talking about, he's like, I had no idea when I hopped on New York that 50 would get mad. He's like, 50 shouted us out on the last album. He's like, well, the other hard niggas, they come from Yonkers. So he's like, I didn't do it as a diss towards 50. He's like, I never in a million years thought 50 would get mad. And Ja was cool with everybody in New York.
Yeah.
Other than you. So it's just like, he's like, I really didn't think so. And then none of them is dissing 50 Cent on that song. It's like, you got mad because we was close. So then I think that's where lines got blurred. And it's like, oh, you standing next to my ops. You made an album with that nigga? You know what I'm saying? And you must not be down with me now. Like, I think that line is blurred nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think as the person who's putting the song out, you should be like, yo, either it's your responsibility to say, yo, bro, change your verse, or
I
you
can't
get left
put that
off the
out.
song. Yeah, or you know what I'm saying? Or like, I'm giving you the opportunity. I don't want to be involved in y'all shit. And I think that's...
But they also know, this verse going to generate a lot of... And that's what it is, business at the end of the day.
I think Travis falls in that camp more than anything.
So, I'm trying to sell records.
Yeah. And that's what's going to get you called out. And a Pusha T is going to call out. And I think even like a Kendrick, so to speak, and I don't want to pick on Drake because whatever y'all say about Drake, he's still making dope music. But like Kendrick saw something corny about him. He's like, this guy could be super talented at music, but he's not what he comes across as. I'm not saying that he is or he isn't, but in Kendrick's eyes, or obviously in Pusha T's eyes, where I think it's the same thing when he looks at Travis. It's like, this is the highest streaming rapper in the world right now. But I see his corniness. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do corny shit. Now to cry in front of me and you lost your bitch and da-da-da-da-da. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like they was really around each other.
Right.
So to me, it's like, yeah, that was a corny move. You know what I mean? But also, it's like, you could have a conversation. You could have, if you could have called him out, you could have been like, yo, that shit was corny. But you got an album coming out. And it's the same way Travis Scott would want that verse.
but also like the same way, I mean, Travis never... You know, he played the album for them, left off that verse intentionally. That's true. He could have told them, like, listen,
there's something more in here.
Right, blah, blah, but he did it, so I mean...
Yeah, you can't wipe your hands clean. You the blood's on your hands if you do some shit like that, man. Spec, have you heard? I seen this clip. I'm just going to play it. I'm not even going to give you, but I'm going to give you, like, this little pretext. This lady is talking about Cubans should be happy. Cubans should be nicer to black people because black people know the black struggle. And I guess, I'm assuming it came from a discourse where Latino people are saying, why aren't the more black people not joining us in this protest that we got going on? So we'll take it from there.
Community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere. And you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out. It is not, I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it, but I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not going to talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Yeah. Listen, I don't really disagree with anything she says.
I think she's got a lot of support. I thought a lot of people in the comments would be like, nah, but I think from what I'm reading in the comments, I'm not gonna act like I know more about a community that I'm not a part of. But they like it. She right. Like, yo, we do be talking.
Because it's not the whites. It's not the whites who gonna save them.
Yeah, because the whites, I think that we get to support us in like a George Floyd situation have some sort of guilt.
Yeah.
They feel like they stood by,
and I don't mind that. Like, we need white support, period. And so there are white people who will support us, but
they don't look at their struggle the same because it's been sold as an invasion,
right?
That they're taking something from you, or that they're at least taking your space, that you should feel unsafe. And I think shout out to a lot of white actors, I think, in the LA area. Like, not even white actors, like influencers, people that we know from like celebrity status. That like, yo, y'all taking housekeepers, y'all taking people that work in the hotels. That's, you know what I mean? Like, farms can't operate in this country without undocumented workers. Absolutely. I think they did an experiment in a town, and they were like, they outlawed it. They were like, you have to have documented workers, and they had to change the law back because they were like, we'll lose.
Americans don't be wanting to do shit like that. That's the reality.
I don't like that stereotype, but it's true.
We are spoiled.
Not for the rates at which it could be profitable for whatever said company is doing that. So, like I said, I don't necessarily know. Like, there's a conversation to have, which Shorty said. Because why I think we have to speak up is because once them quotas is going to be what they are. And once they keep rounding up Hispanic people, they're going to start stopping people like me and you, be like, kind of look like you might, well, you know what I'm saying? And then we don't got an idea on us now. We got to go through a whole scenario. So basically, the rule is like, when they came for the gypsies, I didn't say anything. When they came for the Jews, I didn't say anything. When they came for the machine workers, I didn't do anything. And then when they came for me, there was nobody around to speak up. So that's really the mentality of like, when you see injustice anywhere, anywhere is injustice everywhere. Martin Luther King line. So that's why I would speak up, and that's why I don't think necessarily black should be like the hands off the situation, because we have nothing to lose by saying, "Nah, they're gonna take away our rights if we start like."
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very complex and nuanced situation. But when it comes to Cubans, like she said, they see themselves as like they're this righteous group, and like she said, you know, the Cubans will look down on like the African Americans, like you know, they are the second class citizens, or you know.
We were having a conversation in the text this week, right? I think you and Rick. Well, he was talking about like communism.
Yeah, it was.
What started that conversation?
There was a video that surfaced of a Cuban lady. You know, she supported Trump. You know, she was singing at his rally, and then a few months later, after Trump's in office, he deported her husband, her nephew. They both got deported.
Yeah, she went viral for singing at his rally. I
believe. And then the video went viral of her at the courthouse crying because her husband and her nephew were getting deported.
What was the thought process behind that though? Like, if you knew you had undocumented family members.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of what she's, you know, like you know, you're here supporting, and again, I have nothing against white people, but you're here supporting this dude, and look what he did to you.
Yeah, they'll turn right around and
like. But she's saying like they need to support. At the end of the day, you know, African Americans in this country, I would say, is the leading minority group in terms of, you know, fighting for rights, right? Okay. You know, we've been here forever fighting for our rights. And so now this is just my opinion. Any other group that is, you know, fighting for their rights, we all need to support each other. We're all in the same fucking boat. Yeah. Like, if you're Hispanic, right, you're no different than us African Americans fighting for our rights. So you should be on board with anything we're doing, not what that side is doing. Period. Because at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan, that side is not going to fight for you.
They're going to other you.
They're going to other you. And Trump is showing that. It's this side that's going to fight for you. So it's this side that you need to support, not that side. You don't need to be looking at this side any other way other than your help. We support each other, your family, not that side. Yeah. And so I don't know where the Cubans in particular, because it's really an issue with Cubans, especially like in Florida, where they're supporting that side, and I just don't get it.
But that's before Trump.
That's before. It's been like that. It's a stronghold. Yeah.
Okay. But like.
But that is the wrong side at the end of the day.
Yeah, it goes deeper than, obviously. I think that's what Rick was speaking to about socialism and things like that. And
democracy and all of that.
It's too close for them,
Yeah, so...
Shorty's right, and it's hard to... It takes balls to talk to your... I'm assuming she's Cuban. It takes balls... She has a Cuban flag in the background, right? It takes balls to talk to your own people and call them out for something like that, and then also to show love to a different group of people. Where it sounds like y'all, there are people in that group who openly will talk down.
Fucking look the same for the most part. Y'all just speak a different language, like.
And you know, there's colorism in the
there is big time,
big, and obviously, you know, I've dated Hispanic girls. You know what I'm saying? You have a child who's half Hispanic, so you know what I mean. Like we've heard about the stereotypes and things that are said. But I've always. This is gonna sound silly, but I'm like, yo, you can use the N-word in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we never got mad if Alejandro or Jose used the N-word, so it's like, it always felt like we was all...
Yep, in the same boat.
Yeah, if Bobby said it, then
hey, Papi!
Shout out to Shorty, too, because, right, this shit went viral, and I had no idea who they were, right? And I'm like, they say podcast, so I'm like, oh, maybe Shorty famous, or whatever, and then, but, like, I'm also like, why they dress like that? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, her shorty dressed extra short, and then I like did my research, and I was like, oh, I know where I know her from. She's definitely from what we think we know her from.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh man,
definitely like In Street Latinas and all that. Like, you don't like you probably her name. I'm sure you've definitely probably seen her before. I didn't know if it was the same one.
Is her name Angelina Castro?
Angelina Castro, yeah. Shit. But I'm like in my head, I'm like, I know that name, and then I'm like, I had to go back, and then I had to like find her page, and then I was like, oh yeah, she still do the same type of work.
Really?
Like, yeah, she's. But she went viral for this. Like, and nobody calls her out.
Some Angelina Castro.
I think she's like in her 50s now or something like that. She's like definitely the
and she's still doing it.
She's at like when I pulled up her Instagram page, she was like at conventions and shit like that. So there's no reason she would be going to that. I'm assuming she probably makes her own
content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull it back over here. Yeah. Well, you know when it's the first thing is a link in the bio then, to all their links. But yeah, she's not hiding it. That's not like so the fact that like a lot of people is like kind of like, and but I guess this podcast is her other like side of her. You know what I mean? To show it off. But yeah, no, she's still just like the third post down. Right. She's doing the same shit. But the fact that she made such a good point that I didn't hear anybody point that out, and I had to do my own research to find that is like, shout out to her. She's doing her thing. And obviously, what somebody does for a living doesn't mean they ain't got a brain.
Right, for sure. I don't cash no judgment on them.
But Spec, before we get out of here, man, a couple things I want to show you with things I seen on the internet, man. First one I gotta show you is shorty Caitlin Clark. This was her second game back. I think her first game back was against the Liberty, right? This was her second game back. And he was beefing with a rival.
Feisty.
Caitlin's second game back in the league already don't know how to act. Turned her ass into a human fucking pinball right here. How did we get here, you might ask? First of all, Caitlin been busting JC Shelton's ass for years. I'm starting to get secondhand embarrassment. Lee told her I can do whatever the fuck I want and pushed her ass. Marina had to step in. It was starting to feel like bullying. One thing about Marina, she ain't backing down from shit. As Sophie Cunningham said, if we crashing out, I'll raise you one. This the bitch that chipped my tooth? I ain't gonna lie. JC had a helmet on. That shit would have went flying off. That Jadavion Clowney versus Michigan. I ain't gonna lie. It was a long ass night for JC Sheldon. Chicken wrap, all type of shit happening to her. Ain't gonna lie, she cannot guard Caitlin. She is a willing participant in getting her ass bust. Then she went Ric Flair, dirtiest player in the game, fingers to the eye, and walked up on Caitlin. Said, get the fuck out of here. Hold the phones. Marina out there lurking somewhere. Dina Charles went from get off my line to hey, it wasn't me. And Marina stand on business. She a real crash out. Came back like, what y'all talking about? Y'all good? All right, bet. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Whole time I'm like, where the fuck is Sophie? I know she itching to get on that court. And tried to high five her and walk away. Said, hey, just know when I get to
I'm gonna get that bitch.
From done with JC Sheldon. They was treating her ass like a fucking rag doll out there. Telling you, getting work like this.
Shorty is not as good as Caitlin Clark, but now everybody's gonna watch whenever they play each other now.
Like
that was the smartest thing she could have did.
My favorite Caitlin, when she get to talking shit, this really her league. Y'all are in fucking trouble. You got way too much confidence now. Y'all are down 20. Stop poking the bear. What the fuck is wrong with her? Caitlin was at about a 7. Now she's at a 10. She don't got just a fan base behind her. She got a whole state. Matter of fact, a couple 20. I'm telling you, I ain't seen people respond to somebody like this since Mike. I ain't talking Jordan. I'm talking Jackson. They still wasn't done with JC Sheldon. Fireworks just beginning. Sophie Cunningham was leaving with something. After not ejecting Marina, Sophie said, fuck it, anything goes. It's a difference. Don't go there with a real crash out if you ain't ready. Sophie went straight for the dome, had a handful of ponytails. Start whispering sweet nothings into her ear. Stupid bitch, this ain't what you thought it was, huh? You regret this shit, don't you? 6 ways to put you to sleep right now. Next time, just get up and walk to the line, stupid. Before I gotta show you about this black belt. They beat JC in so many ways last night.
That was a good game, though, even though it was a blowout.
WNBA is where I heard the refs just let it go get out of hand, bro.
They should. I mean, listen, that shit is great for the league. Like, I don't care what nobody says.
Until the star athlete, you gotta wear an eye patch. Yo, how you get poked in the eye? That's some UFC shit, bro. The ball is down here. This bitch with an eye. Nigga said she hit it with the Ric Flair, bro. Man, Spec. This shit is. I'm gonna go with this shit, man, because this shit was just ludicrous. You know when Ludacris pops up in the State Farm commercials? That's what should have happened here.
Better, Lil Wayne or Drake?
Now, this is Lil Wayne's son, which is a silly question to ask Lil Wayne's son, but we just go with that.
Better, Lil Wayne or Drake?
Lil Wayne. My dad wrote most of the shit. So, I mean, on God, like, if it wasn't for my pops, then it wouldn't be no Drake, like, for real. I mean, it probably would be a Drake, but he wouldn't be where he at now.
No, that's completely 100% true, but I feel like there's a little...
That's not true. He's like, I feel I'm completely 100% true. Yo, kids just say anything.
Is his son a rapper?
I guess. I mean, if he's walking around like this and he's not rapping, he's just wasting. If he's walking around getting interviewed and he's not rapping, bro, he is wasting his talent out here, bro. Nah, that's just, I mean, kids will be kids, right? Like, what would his son know about that? But, what's the last one I wanted to play for you, man? It was, with Tucker Carlson.
Tucker got in that ass.
He owed Tucker money. Like, cause he walked in here thinking this was gonna be not this type of interview. He owed Tucker money, and Tucker was like, all right, bet. Cause Tucker dropped this clip before the interview even. This was how he was like previewing it. Like, yo, so
I don't know the population at all. No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple? How many people living around? 92 million. Okay. Yeah. How could you not know that? I don't sit around memorizing population tables. Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government. Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant? Because if you don't know anything about the country... I didn't say I don't know anything about the country. What's the ethnic mix of Iran? They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, it's not even, you don't know anything about Iran. So, okay, I am not Carlson, expert on Iran. You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government. You're the one who don't know anything about the country. No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad. You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump? Yes, I do. Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that, carrying out military strikes today. You said Israel was. Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them. Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity. No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them. You just said we were. We are supporting Israel. High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
He looked over at the camera. He's like, make sure this
shit. He must have baited the shit out of him to get him to do this interview. And they gotcha.
Yo, I wish the dude in the Lil Wayne son interview was like, this is breaking news right here.
My dad wrote most of the shit.
Well, you're breaking news here.
I didn't know Lil Wayne wrote Drake's for us. Yo, what did Ted Cruz do to piss Tucker Carlson? Because he's obviously right wing media, but you can't come on there sounding like an idiot. I guess. Like, oh man, Ted Cruz thought this was gonna be soft boy. He's like, I ain't studying on.
Ask me all the easy questions.
Like population. Why the fuck I need to know the population? But we laugh and it's in jest, but these are the people making the decisions for this country, and it is it's not a joke. But shout out to Tucker. Somebody I'm not gonna take credit for this too. They said this is Steph Curry in the Paris Olympics. Like you can finally root for him. Oh, instead of him putting the dagger in your heart, like all right, Tucker, all right. Nah, Ted Cruz is a very unlikable guy, and Tucker Carlson definitely had a slam dunk. But Spec, that's another episode in the books, my brother. Where can my people find you at on social media?
Nowhere.
Find your boy DJ Playboy on X at DJ Playboy. Find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. And of course, follow Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Right there. Make sure you follow the massive. Follow us on YouTube. Go check out the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure hop in the comments. You might see yourself on a future episode. Turn them notifications on. Make sure you leave a like because the algorithm loves that type of thing. And keep showing love to the team. Share it too. Tell your friends about it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And go check out the website www.perfecttalkpodcast.com where you can find everything DJ Playboy. For my mixes, the night shift up on there. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. And you can even get yourself some merch. Actually, shout out to my guy Spec. I got a little something for you right here, brother.
Oh, good looking, dog.
Open it up on air. This is like a back in the day when you get your Rockefeller chain. You know what I mean?
It's official, people. It's official.
Spec down with the team now, man. You know what I'm saying? You can get yourself some merch just like him. Go to www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. You know what I mean? Fresh out the rapper right there, man. It reminds me of like backstage where Bleak was got a jacket from Def Jam. He goes, Rockefeller ain't never give me no jacket with my name on it. Dame Dash, man, head in the corner and shit. Man, Spec, there's been a lot going on this past month. Bro, Pride Month. I get it's Pride Month, but I feel like Pride Month been haunting me. Nothing against the community. Shout out to the community, but I just been having some Pride Month moments. Getting hot. The weather been cold and hot and cold and hot. So it was the first day I could rock a tank top, and I'm at the gas station, right? You know what I'm saying? This dude stopped me and go, like, yo, me and my man was just talking, bro. You just inspired us to get back on our workout shit, bro. You seen you coming in with the muscles. We just got back on our workout shit. I'm like, yeah, just do your push-ups and shit, bro. You know what I mean? But I was like, I feel like I'm 41 now. I don't give a fuck.
You want us to put some oil on the muscles?
Back in the day, I was like, this nigga, he trying me? Like, what kind of conversation is this to have at the gas station? Then I seen Candace Parker. She just came out with her book. She was like how she was straight for mad years and then just woke up gay. I'm like, that can happen? What kind of shit is that? She said it.
She was with her husband for mad long.
Man, had a kid, right? Yeah. Like, and then just decides to be gay. Like, that was nothing. Once again, no judging.
How's that happen?
But that's some of the scariest shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. That's nuts. Then the cherry on top. I'm doing a delivery, right? Random dude on the block, just old dude sitting out, white dude, right? Don't even look like he want to talk to nobody. Look like he probably wondering why I'm around. I'm heading back to the car. He stops me. Cause starts walking up to me. He's shaking the what is it, like a bottle of sunblock. I thought I had one in here. But he's shaking like a bottle of sunblock. And in my head, I'm like, yo, is this nigga about to spray it at me on some crazy? Cause I'm like, why is he shaking it like it's spray paint or something like that? And he walks up to me. He goes, yo, would you mind putting sunblock on my back so I don't get cancer? And I was like, I'm like, that's a wild ass request. But then
where was this at?
This was in Connect.
But like at a gas station.
I was doing a delivery. I was dropping something at somebody's house. Okay. And he was the neighbor.
Okay.
He was like another house. So I thought he was gonna say something funny, like, why am I taking pictures while I'm on the property? But he comes up and then he just comes up to me and he's like, yo, could you spray this on my back so I don't catch cancer? And I'm like, that's a wild request, bro. But then I was like, it ain't the like you gotta put it on your hand and rub.
Okay, it's the spray.
I'm like, it's the spray, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he thought I was gonna spray and rub, but I was like, I got you, bro. I'm tagging my name and all that shit. But I was just like, yo, that was some Pride Month ass shit going on. But now that I'm 41, I don't care. You know what I mean? As long as you ain't trying to disrespect me. It was funny because somebody walked by like, what the fuck is going on? How do you even know each other? Somebody was mad confused walking by. I was like, a nigga came out on the bike and shit. I was like, yo, don't judge, man. Don't judge.
Like, what the hell is this?
By 40, you don't care no more. It's like, I know I ain't gay.
I would have sprayed. I would have sprayed it. I would have said, I'm not going to rub it on your back, but I sprayed it.
I mean, I don't know if he thought it or not. We just left it at the spray, bro. You know, handed it back to him and said, all right, I'm on my way.
But no, that is a weird ass request, though.
Wild ass request, yo. And they both was on some hot ass days, so I don't know if the sun be baking people's brains, man. But I gotta bring that to the pod. You know what I'm saying? Happy Pride, I guess, man. But yo, expect that's another episode. We up out of here, man. Say goodbye to the people, brother.
Peace.
Peace.